Hey guys, my name is Rob Trent. I'm a DP based out of Orange County, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about camera movement. This is one of my favorite parts of shooting and honestly even pre-production, like thinking through your camera movement. It's really fun to me. I think it adds a lot to whatever you're shooting. It can convey a lot of emotion and show a lot of things that you can't actually show. So yeah, let's talk about it. All right, first one on the list is pan. All right, this is when a camera swivels left to right or right to left, and it stays in the same position, but it's revealing new things on the left and right side of the frame. This shot is really commonly used as an establishing shot or to show the scope of the environment, but it can also be used to kind of convey a sense of urgency depending on the speed. So a slow pan, it's kind of peaceful, you're following something, whatever, or you're showing the environment in a nice slow pan, while a fast pan, or like an extreme version, a whip pan, can really create some urgency. We can look at an example from La La Land that is a super, super famous whip pan that brings in a lot of urgency. This is the most intense version of a pan. This is a whip pan, and you can see the energy that it's creating is pretty cool, and also just builds you up, makes you a little hyped. So it's kind of a fun way to build energy in a moment and show the back and forth. The next camera movement we have is the tilt. So this is when the camera rotates up or down, and you can use it to reveal something, either top to bottom or bottom to top, and it kind of creates a different sense of emotion either way you're going to do it. A way I really like to see tilt used is from the point of view of one character and their point of view of another character. So basically, if you have a very small character and they're looking up to a big character, like a bully or whatever, you'll often see that tilt going up from the point of view of your smaller character. That's going to make that other person feel even bigger. It doesn't get used super often, and it can be kind of funny. It can be kind of comical to show the size difference. So it's a really cool way to do it. Next up, we have the dolly movement, which is where the camera physically moves forward or backward. This is usually done on a dolly, hence the name, but it can also be done on other camera support, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. A super common way dolly is used is if you're pushing in, it can kind of be more intimate. It feels like the viewer is there. It's a little immersive. It really brings the viewer into that moment because they feel like they're entering it. Where if you're pulling out, it can often be used to show that a character's mind is expanding or something just happened and you're showing the area it's happening in. It's kind of a cool way to show what's going on inside the head of the character. Also, for commercial filmmaking, it's really often used to create a little bit of motion, and you'll see it everywhere. It's used in almost every shot, some type of motion, if it's a dolly, or the next one we're going to talk about, a truck, which is moving left to right. So like I mentioned, it's really similar to a dolly, but this is called a truck. And that is when the camera moves left to right, or it moves in parallel with the subject. The truck movement is great to create a sense of motion and to follow the progression of a character through a scene, but it can also be used to reveal a new location, etc., that the character is moving into. Here's an example of a truck movement. All right, I know I'm referencing La La Land again. Don't put it in the comments, I know. And we're gonna talk about the opening shot where we have a truck. We have a truck from left to right showing all the cars backed up on the highway. And actually, if you watch a little bit before, it comes from a tilt down into a truck. Pretty cool. I don't know how they did it. Probably a crane on wheels. But really cool movement and a great example of a truck shot from a great film. Now, the last movement we're going to talk about is tracking. Probably thinking, okay, we've already done dolly, we've done truck, we've done pan. How are you doing a tracking shot if it's not one of those three? And I kind of want to talk about the terminology behind tracking shot, because a lot of times on set, that word is kind of thrown around as a catch-all with the talent moving and the camera moving. Oh, it's just tracking shot. And so usually what I've found is that if you are going to be on a dolly, they'll call it by its correct dolly or truck name. But if you're going to a piece of camera support like a Steadicam or a gimbal or even a car rig, then it's kind of messy on what a tracking shot is, because usually they want multiple shots or different kinds of shots, so they'll go to something that isn't as hard to move as a dolly. Now, this could be different on different sets than I'm on, but I wanted to give you that kind of terminology knowledge that's really important to have, just in case you get somewhere and they go tracking and you're like, okay, well, now I need to ask for more information about what we're doing. This shot that we're gonna look at right now, the French dispatch, is definitely in my mind a tracking shot, but it is a dolly out, but it might not be on a dolly, or it could be on a Steadicam, or it could be on any other camera support. So it's kind of funny to describe, but this is a tracking shot. So I hope you learned a little bit about the basics of camera movement in this video. It's been something I really enjoyed and I use a lot, and I think it's a lot of fun and people like it. So go out and experiment. It's worth it to take the time to experiment and see what you like and don't like and how you do things. Always experiment before you get on set to do it. So I hope you guys learned something, and if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram or in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as possible. Peace.